CNN ratings tank 44% as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis launches a massive crackdown on big tech. In this video, we're going to take a look at the colossal collapse in ratings over at CNN, what may indeed be behind such a collapse, and how the governor of Florida is effectively creating a sanctuary state that's fighting back against big tech big time. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, we're here to give you conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times by helping you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We would love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also, for you Rumble fans out there, we're about to hit 100,000 subs. So make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on that link below. And for you podcast fans out there, we are now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. And so make sure to click on the link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms as well. Before we begin, we've all experienced blackouts, right? Particularly at night. You know, that bizarre feeling when all the power grid goes out, all the lights go out, our homes go completely dark. Well, I'm preparing for my next blackout with a wonderful device called the Light Bug. The Light Bug is a portable, solar-powered, ultra-bright floodlight with 3 lighting modes. And because it's solar-powered, you'll never have to worry about wires or batteries. And it comes with a battery indicator so you know how much charge is left. It's perfect to light up your fishing or hiking or camping trips because it's so lightweight and portable. And if you click on that link below today, you'll get 20% off your order. So it can be better. Make sure to click on that link below or head on over to lightbug.com and get your emergency backup light today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. CNN's ratings are plummeting. CNN, that 24/7 cable news network that gave definition to TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is finding out the hard way. Be careful what you wish for. You want Donald Trump out of the picture? Okay, that's fine, but you're going to exit right along with him. That's what happens when you take on the Godzilla of politics. It's being widely reported CNN primetime ratings have utterly crashed, dropping by 44%, nearly 50% in the first week of Sleepy Joe's administration. According to Variety reports, this dramatic and devastating drop in viewership was followed by a comparable collapse over at the ultra-leftist MSNBC. They saw their viewership drop by 20%. Interestingly enough, it seems that Fox News has bottomed out. It's stabilized. They, of course, suffered their own unprecedented ratings collapse, their crash over the last several weeks. The ratings for Fox News for first time in 2 decades fell behind both CNN and MSNBC. Those ratings began to dip, of course, immediately after the disastrous coverage of Election Day, where the Fox decision desk enraged their conservative audience, who up until that point had to deal with the obnoxious and odious Chris Wallace. But then the straw that broke the camel's back was the pathetic pandering towards Joe Biden on election night. That caused their average viewership to drop approximately 20% as compared to pre-November levels. Things were so bad at Fox News that according to adweek.com, they finished last in every single time slot during the week ending on January 9th. Even Tucker Carlson, Fox's most popular host, even Tucker, finished behind MSNBC's Chris Hayes. But that fall seems to have bottomed out. Fox appears to have stopped the bleeding for now. We'll have to see if people start coming back after that ridiculous disaster over at Newsmax, where they were talking with the MyPillow CEO about cancel culture, and then proceeded to actually demonstrate cancel culture by not allowing him to speak. It had to be one of the most bizarre moments ever captured on a news broadcast. But when it comes to crashing and burning in the ratings, I mean, CNN is clearly taking the cake here. So to lose upwards of half your audience after the inauguration of Sleepy Joe, I mean, wow. What do you say to that? The hardest hit among CNN's primetime shows was Chris Cuomo's primetime. Fredo! He saw half his audience disappear, and you got to wonder to what extent his brother, you know, the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo's cover-up of the actual amount of deaths that occurred among COVID-positive patients in New York nursing homes. You know, you got to wonder the extent to which that's adversely affecting Fredo's ratings or continuing to. I mean, the way those two yucked it up on Fredo's show was widely criticized. I mean, how do you even remotely attempt to credibly brand your network a news network when you allow one of your top primetime so-called journalists to interview his own brother over and over again? And of course, never once touching on the issue of the colossal death rate that New York nursing home patients suffered under Cuomo. His brother's fawning over him, Fredo fawning over Andrew in those so-called interviews, was embarrassing to watch. And what was even more horrific was the fact that Chris Cuomo, Fredo, actually had the gall to try to blame COVID deaths on President Trump and the Republicans. You remember that confrontational interview with Ted Cruz, right? Where Cruz just skewered him. I mean, Cuomo looked like he was about to cry. It was priceless. He had Ted Cruz on his show right after the first debate between Trump and Sleepy Joe. And Cuomo was badgering Cruz, blaming all the COVID deaths on Trump and the Republicans. And Cruz was like, you know, dude, you got a lot of nerve to try to blame COVID deaths on your political enemies, especially when your own brother, the governor of New York, presided over the state with the highest death rate in the nation. And Cuomo's like, well, what'd you expect him to do? Huh? What was my brother supposed to do? And Cruz said it perfectly. Well, Chris, whatever he was supposed to do, it certainly did not involve sending COVID-positive patients into nursing homes. Mic drop. I mean, it was, he just smacked the smirk off of Cuomo's face. It was priceless. So obviously, CNN was right for a major ratings correction here. Now, while all of this is going on, we got some breaking news on the battlefront with big tech censorship. The Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, is launching a massive crackdown on big tech. Before we get into that, I'm so excited to announce we do have a brand new alt tech directory guide called the New Conservative Survival Guide to Big Tech Censorship, which you can get absolutely free by clicking on the link below. Now, this is a guide that's going to give you all of the alternative social media sites that are popping up everywhere. You can get them all in one place. They have all your favorite independent content creators, but of course, without any of the censorship that we're being subjected to by big tech. It's also going to give you insights into what scholars are calling, you're going to love this, an emerging post-Google age. It's absolutely free as an ebook download, and it's yours by simply clicking on the link below. So don't let big tech censors get in the way of your favorite content creators. Click on that link below and enjoy your survival guide to big tech censorship today. All right, so here's what's coming out of Florida in terms of mechanisms of resistance against big tech oligarchs silencing conservative dissent. As Breitbart is reporting, Governor Ron DeSantis has announced a major push to curb big tech's political bias and censorship. In a 45-minute speech just delivered the other day, Governor DeSantis identified big tech oligarchs as representing the single biggest threat to American democracy and the freedom of expression that we're facing today. And I would add to that, by the way, also their Democrat enablers. I'm frankly stunned to read the comments on like the Facebook pages of my friends, revealing just how many otherwise moderate Democrats are perfectly fine with this mass censorship. Again, it's nuts. But DeSantis outlined in his speech a clear set of government regulations that are designed to crack down on that online censorship. DeSantis is proposing mandatory opt-outs from big tech's content filters, a private right of action for Floridian citizens against tech companies that violate this condition, fines of $100,000 per day levied on tech companies that suspend candidates for elected office in Florida from their platforms. Keep in mind that Poland is considering a bill that would fine these tech companies $2.2 million a day for illegitimate deplatforming. Daily fines for any tech company that uses their content and user-related algorithms to suppress or prioritize the access of any content related to a political candidate or cause on the ballot. Greater transparency requirements, as well as disclosure requirements enforced by Florida's election authorities for tech companies that favor one candidate over another, and power for the Florida Attorney General to bring cases against tech companies that violate these conditions under the state's Unfair and Deceptive Practices Act. There is no question that this is, as Breitbart, I think, rightly put it, this is the widest and most aggressive range of regulatory and legislative solutions so far proposed by any U.S. state to tackle the problem of tech censorship. And as such, we're indeed seeing the rise of what many are calling sanctuary states. So these are deep red states announcing that they're simply not going to be a part of any democratic programs or persecutions coming down the pike. And as such, they're creating a massive administrative and legal border wall between their citizens and the out-of-control deep state bureaucrats in D.C., along with their, lapdog big tech oligarchs. So kudos to Governor Ron DeSantis for standing up to big tech, for actually representing the concerns and values and interests of the Republican rank and file, the people. This is a wonderful example of the kind of politics that dominated the Trump era, a politics that takes on the swamp and its social media allies rather than coddles them and bends the knee to them, like we're seeing the current crop of rhinos in D.C. doing on a daily basis. Shame on them. So obviously we'll be keeping an eye on how things develop here with Governor DeSantis' crackdown on big tech, as well as just how far CNN's ratings will continue to fall. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and definitely subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how the impeachment trial is officially backfiring. We have poll data on that as the Trump comeback begins. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.